I want my audience to know I get to speak to Dr. Lori Sutton. She's a psychiatrist. She's a retired military officer and a brigadier general who served in the United States Army. And Wade is a U.S. veteran, and he's here to talk a little bit about PTSD also, too. Dr. Sutton, let's get started because this topic is so heavy and so weighty, but I know you have information that can help us. While most people have heard about post-traumatic stress disorder, or as we know it in society, PTSD, can you detail what it is and who is impacted for us?
Absolutely. First of all, PTSD is not limited to the military or to veteran-related trauma. It can affect anyone. It's a human condition. It affects over 13 million Americans. And you know, when you've experienced a trauma, what can happen is that you have nightmares, flashbacks, you're on edge, you're hypervigilant. You want to avoid those kinds of triggers. And it affects your relationships, your ability to work, to be a contributing family member, to work in your community. Very stigmatizing. There's such a ripple effect. And that's why this topic is so important, and we're so appreciative of you having us today. Thank you, Valda.
Well, thank you for being here because, as you're right, because now I see this is being applied to a broad swath of people in society when they do what I call bad things. People say, oh, he had or she had PTSD. So what are some of the challenges and unmet needs of those people who are suffering from PTSD?
Absolutely. You know, it's really, rather than people doing bad things, it's about bad things happening to people, very traumatic events, whether that be combat trauma, whether it be sexual assaults, whether it be motor vehicle accidents. It can happen to anyone. There's currently an epidemic of suicides, not only within our veteran community, but all around our country, over a 40% increase just in the last few years. The challenges, as you addressed, the existing treatments for PTSD, that they show limited improvement. They've helped some veterans, but not nearly enough. High dropout rates, difficult to tolerate, and there has not been a new drug treatment for PTSD approved by the FDA in over 20 years. So this is a historic moment, and we're very excited about the potential.
We'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to bring Wade into the conversation. And Wade, if you will share with us from a perspective of a synopsis, can you tell us about your experience of PTSD?
Sure. So like the general and the doctor said, PTSD can come from any type of trauma, not just war. My PTSD started actually with Hurricane Katrina. And after that, I joined the military, and my trauma and stress just kind of stayed elevated. So it just continued from there. And to describe PTSD, it would be like living, always assuming something bad's going to happen. You're always waiting for the next trauma. I was hypervigilant, so it made it exhausting to be out and about in crowds. And it just really kind of just takes the joy out of living because you're just so tired all the time and you do a lot of avoidance. I spent 10 years trying every type of treatment, medication, and therapy that I could, and it generally just kept things from getting worse, but it didn't really make things better. Then I got lucky enough, and I was accepted into one of these new drug trials, and this one was the MDMA-assisted therapy.
I'm so glad you're here to tell your story. That's so important, Wade, so thank you. Dr. Sutton, he alludes to a trial. Tell me about the trial that's making a difference in Wade's life.
Absolutely. MDMA is an investigational new treatment for PTSD. It's currently under review by the FDA, and it's a pharmaceutical that is a manufactured drug. It's delivered in a clinical setting with therapy. It's not just the drug, it's not just therapy, it's both together. And so far, it has really shown some remarkably positive outcomes that are enduring for veterans like Wade, who have tried the existing treatments but desperately need new treatments, a new tool in the PTSD treatment toolbox.
I'm so excited about that. Those people, those family members that are at home, and even some potential patients, that are hearing you guys say that this hope, you guys are spouting hope, what do they do? Where did it go?
Absolutely. You know, there are resources. I would point folks to the ptsd.va.gov website. There you can get information. You can find out where your nearest vet center is. You can find other resources online, veteran service organizations and advocacy groups. But you know, if you're in crisis, call 988. If you're a veteran, press 1. If you're not, just stay on the line and you will be connected with the right resources that fit your particular needs. And I can't thank you enough, Valda, for raising awareness, for continuing this conversation, and for all of us as veterans, as Americans approaching this 4th of July. We are enormously grateful for your support. Thank you, Valda.
Dr. Lori Sutton, we are grateful for your service and your continued medical knowledge that is helping us as a nation. And I want to thank Wade. I want to thank you, Wade, for being here to tell your story. That's such a powerful thing to be able to tell your story. Everybody can't articulate their story for whatever reason. So I salute you, Dr. Sutton, and thank you, Wade, both for being on the Valder Beebe Show. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Valder Beebe, host of The Valder Beebe Show. We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/ValderBeebeShow. We upload new videos daily. Our site is a modern baby boomer platform with news and information important to boomers. Subscribe to YouTube.com/ValderBeebeShow and stay connected as I interview the world's most fascinating people.